There are tiny little details which we are not paying attention to as humans that have resulted in a lot of people losing their lives on time. And that is what we'll be talking about today. If you're seeing my face for the first time, I'm Chidima. I'm a registered nurse and live and practice in the United Kingdom. Consider joining the family by subscribing if this is a topic that interests you. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for coming around. Without wasting time, let's get into it. The first on this list today is going to be about paying attention to tiny little details and symptoms that you have. You do not need to wait until it has resulted into something very major before you visit your doctor or before you go to the hospital, because that thing that is major might be the thing that is going to cut off your life. Let me give you an example of this. Things like headache. When you experience frequent headaches, then you need to go to a doctor, because headaches are symptoms of something minor or something major. A lot of people have died because the last words you heard from them is, "I'm having a sore head, my head is aching me," and then they just pass out. That could be because cardiac arrest is imminent. That could be because they have been suffering from undiagnosed hypertension. That could be because a lot of things are happening to their arteries and their veins in their brains. You see, so there are so many things that can trigger headache that are serious, that needs to be dealt with. But because you are not paying attention to this tiny little detail, or you could just go over the counter and get paracetamol, ibuprofen, and take them, and you feel it's all right. It's not. It's not all right. A lot of people have passed on from not paying attention to tiny little details. Now, another example of this is somebody is bleeding after sex. A woman is bleeding after sex, and you bleed for a certain number of days, maybe just little blood, and you don't consider it to be anything serious, when it could be a sign of cervical cancer coming up. And then by the time you do not pay attention to it, because oh, it just happened for 2 days and it stopped. It happened another time after 6 months, you saw it again, it happened and it stopped. It happened again after 3 months, you saw it again, it stopped. And you think it's not something serious. That could be that diagnosis, that big diagnosis that could end your life. So what am I trying to say? Pay attention to tiny little symptoms. Anything at all you feel in your body that keeps reoccurring, don't take it lightly. Go for the hospital, let them have an investigation, let them have a check and find out what it is. So another thing we need to learn to do is getting a routine check. Always head on to the doctors, head on to the hospital, request for a routine check. You can do that yearly. Things like, do you know that the worst of it all is that people are not in the habit of having high blood pressure analysis done for them? Their risk of being exposed to future hypertension, people joke a lot about it. A lot of people are going undiagnosed with hypertension, and then the very day they pass on, you'll be surprised how they died. Oh, they just slumped. Oh, I had headache and they just slumped. But this is something that would have been detected if you are somebody who goes to your doctor, who goes to your GP for a regular check. And when they do all those investigations, or check the blood pressure, check the lipid profile, check the kidney, check the liver, it gives them a clue as to if something is about to happen or not. Now, the third thing is know when to stop. Yes, know when to stop. What am I talking about? If you drink a lot, I'm talking about alcoholism and smoking, and you smoke, and you go to the hospital and the doctor has given you diagnoses like COPD, lung issues, respiratory issues, you need to know when to stop. I know that some people are addicted to smoking. I mean, it's their choice, but then you still need to know when to stop, because if you're dying, you're not going to be dying with somebody, you're dying alone. If your loved ones are going to be missing you, nobody else will miss you. It is still them. You're going to live with that emotional torture, emotional pain. So think about it. Is it really worth it? Even with knowing all these diagnoses, you still want to go ahead to smoke? Nobody dies and takes the other. You die alone. So you need to know when to stop. Know when to stop all those habits that are going to cost you your life in such a short time. I mean, the life is once to live, so you need to live it to the fullest and to the best of your knowledge and to your own best interest as well. So you need to know when to stop. If you're drinking a lot and it's causing you heart issue, kidney issues, learn when to stop. Know when to stop. Any habit at all that you're indulged in that is not beneficial to you and it has been pointed out to you, the doctor can only advise you, the nurse can only advise you, the specialist involved can only advise you, but they cannot coerce you into taking their advice. It is up to you whether to take them or not to take them, and you need to know when to stop. Okay? Another thing you need to know is you need to learn when to seek help. Learn to seek help. A lot of people are on the quiet side, the introverts. They do not know how to speak out. They don't want to be judged. They don't want any stigma. Don't die in silence. If something is wrong with you, if something is wrong with you and you even know the cause, or you feel like the society is going to reject you, I mean, if you go down the grave, that is the end. People will just mourn you for a few months and that ends it. So you need to learn to speak out. There must be that one person that you can speak to. If you don't have anybody to speak to, then you can run to the hospital, run to your doctor, run to your nurse, because everything we do medically is strictly on a confidentiality basis. They cannot come and reveal your information. They can't even divulge your information to your next of kin without your consent. Yes, it's illegal, just in case you don't know. Nobody has the right to reveal anything about your health to your next of kin, even if it's your husband or your wife, without your consent. Yes, if you don't have anybody to speak to, run to the hospital, speak to somebody, speak to a therapist, speak to a psychologist, speak to anybody you need to speak to, just so that you do not do crazy things, things that insane. A lot of people have committed suicide because they felt that the world is going to reject them. They felt that that was the end of life for them. They felt that there is no solution to their problem and they didn't speak out because they don't want to be judged. So you need to learn to speak, seek for help. Seek for help. That is the baseline. Anyway, this is what we'll be ending this video today. If you got value from it, consider to subscribe, join the family. Let's grow the family. Let's talk about our health. If you've got any challenges or concerns, you can send me an email and I'll do well to reply. Everything is on confidential basis. Anyway, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.